First of all, let me just say that being a high value woman has nothing to do with the way you look or how much money you have or what you've accomplished. So, what is a high value woman? To me, a high value woman is someone who, first and foremost, knows their worth, knows that they are worthy of love, kindness, and respect. They are very selective about who they allow into their lives and who they give energy to. They never beg for anything, not for love, not for attention, not for respect. They know that they are worthy of it, and it's just an expectation that they have. If you want to be in her life, then you're going to have to treat her with respect. She's not going to put up with anything less. She's also stable and emotionally intelligent, okay? She's not a psycho. I used to be crazy, okay? Really crazy. And trust me, it's not cute. Nobody wants a psycho, okay? You need to be grounded. You need to be able to communicate with calmness and respect. She also takes care of herself. She takes care of her body, she takes care of her mind, and she takes care of her spirit. I used to be whatever the opposite of a high value woman. I used to be like the textbook version of that. I used to be used and abused and discarded like week-old leftovers, okay? So, what changed? Honestly, it was beaten out of me. Like that version of myself that was clingy and needy and desperate and didn't know what self-respect meant was literally murdered by people. I feel like so often we shrink ourselves, we make ourselves very like compliant. I don't know if that's the right word, but we just try to bury our needs and not speak up and stand up for ourselves because we're scared that if we do, you know, our person is going to leave us, right? But you know what? I did that in almost every single relationship. And guess what? They left anyway or cheated. It didn't get me anything except for humiliation and pain. Honestly, it doesn't work. And funnily enough, it was once I started setting boundaries for myself and demanding respect, that's when people started treating me differently. So in the relationship I had before I met my fiance, it was probably like the worst relationship that I have ever had, but it also taught me the most. And I'm still so grateful to this day because it just forced me to value myself because no one else would. And when I met my fiance, I had almost like overcorrected a little bit. It was kind of funny. I remember that I told him, hey, I'm thinking about coming to visit you. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. That sounds good. And I was like, you don't sound excited enough. Fuck you, I'm not coming. And there were like so many times where I did something similar because I was so scared of like falling back into my old patterns of like not being treated the way that I wanted to and just kind of accepting that, like settling for the crumbs. And he told me later on that that's something that he really needed, because I was very like stern in advocating for my needs and enforcing my boundaries. The irony is that once I stopped caring whether or not someone was in my life, when I stopped clinging so desperately to, I don't know, like not wanting someone to leave or being afraid to lose someone, was when people started staying, you know? Because it's not so much that I didn't care whether or not they were in my life, it's that my peace and my dignity were more important. You know what I mean? Anyway, this kind of ended up being way shorter of a video than I originally anticipated. I thought I had more to say, but I think that's kind of it. Let me know if you resonated with this, if you found this helpful, and I will see you next time.